This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. If you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World soon and want to have some help planning it, maybe you're not even Walt Disney World, maybe you're looking at Disneyland, the Disney Cruise Line, maybe one of the Disney parks around the world, the good travel agents at MEI and Mouse Fan Travel can help you plan these trips because they've been there many, many times. They have the experience and they can help you make informed decisions. Why not give them a try? Visit them online at www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, June 10th, 2009, and this is episode 576 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. And Len, I met a listener over the weekend who was a vegan, and I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I should be a vegan too. What do you think?
What I would say is you've got those incisors in your mouth for a reason, and that reason is to eat meat, my friend.
That's right. Meat tastes so good. A little
tasty.
blood makes everything taste a little bit better.
Exactly.
Oh, there goes that listener. Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Hi, Mike.
Scopa, was your bell taken away?
Yeah, but she gave it back to me right after Len was introduced. So
Then
I
Matt,
couldn't
journey
do
with
this.
us now to the dawn of recorded time as we explore this amazing story of human communication.
No, I gotta say, I love that you're doing this. I mean, it's so creative.
Thank you, Len. And nobody else is doing it. That's what I like about
And
it.
no one else is doing it. And the show really needs something like that. I admire the pick.
Thank you, Len. I appreciate that. I've been working hard at something, creative for the show, and this is what I brought.
It shows. I mean, you've really up the game for all the rest of us. I mean, I feel like I'm falling far behind.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for alleears.net. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, let me tell you about my new audio mixer.
Abu.
It's not funny to take the spiel from other people.
Nor to mock the other panelists on this show. Seriously.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
ashamed.
It's
Mike's-
really not
I'm
cool.
so ashamed.
Mike's got his
Look
own
away.
thing.
Look away.
Mike's got his own thing. Newell's got his own thing. Why do you have to jump all over that?
Jealous. I mean,
Get
I
something
really,
of your own.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I just, one of these days, I hope to have my own show and be like Mike.
Be like Mike. I mean, that's somebody else's thing.
Yeah. Come up with something original, Scopa, will you?
I know. You don't have to take Newell stuff all the time. I mean, let the man be. He works hard at what he does.
All right, let's answer some questions. It's Wednesday, and we're answering your listener emails. That's right.
Matt,
Email-
just want to say, I vow to get at least one question right this time.
Right. It's good. It's a good. It's a good
Right.
start.
Listen to you.
They're playing. They're playing. It's their plane. Oh, sorry.
Smoking again. Go ahead.
First email is from Brian Helms, a.k.a. Lauric, on Studio Central. Oh, yeah. Who writes, greetings, ladies and gents. On Listener Question Show, episode 567, Julie from Manahawkin, New Jersey, asked about the difference between the parade music from 2000 to the remix of the music on her newly purchased CD. I wanted to comment on this since it wasn't really addressed. These are two different parades. The parade from 2000 was called Tapestry of Dreams, and the latter called Tapestry of Dreams. Tapestry of Nations.
Tapestry of Nations.
You got it wrong.
Yes.
wrong.
I knew that. Oh, Newell, you didn't catch that?
I did. I just said it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Explain
Not
the
that
use of
night,
Black
maybe.
Mark. Hold on.
I'm in agreement with all about how horrible the Tapestry of Dreams music is. I am partial to the 2000 parade because my wife and I saw it for the first time then during our honeymoon and fell in love with the music. I have been trying to find a copy of the music CD of the 2000 parade, but I've had no success. I just wanted to clarify for the reasoning of the differences in the music. Thanks for the show. I listen every week. Thanks, Brian.
Cool. Awesome.
Very good.
Now Newell, were there two different songs for that? I thought it was the same song just used twice.
Yeah.
Well, the Tapestry of Dreams is the same music as the Tapestry of Nations.
But worse lyrics.
But that's when the kids going, dreams, dreams, Walt Disney, oh. That stuff.
Wow. Just like the
they both-
soundtrack.
Yeah, really, that was really good. But they both have the hey na.
Yeah,
Hey,
basically.
that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
I think is that on Mouse World Radio at all?
It is.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, the one I play is Tapestry of Dreams.
You play it right after Illuminations,
Right
don't you?
around
And,
9:30.
Oh, that's
so.
right. I have the 45-minute loop, the whole 45-minute loop of the some pre-music.
Plays it
Yeah.
during cult hour. That's called the cult hour.
That's right.
Hey, no.
Next email is from Tim of Wellington, New Zealand.
Ooh,
Writes,
that's where they invented beef.
I knew I liked New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Kia ora. I guess that's New Zealandish for hello. I'm trying to decide between on and off-site accommodations. One of the considerations is parking fees. If I'm staying off-site, do I pay for parking on a daily basis?
Yes.
Yes.
Unless he's an AP.
That's right.
Unless you're an pass holder, right?
Does that allow me to drive from one park to another or back to the hotel for a nap and then return?
Yes.
Or do I need to pay for parking each time I arrive at the
No.
park?
It's daily.
Right.
So
If you
it's
pay, even if you pay cash, you still get to park the whole entire day, no matter where the parks you go to.
That's right.
Yeah, save your seat or your ticket.
Right.
Your
They usually
ticket.
give you a thing to put in your window. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Like an air freshener. That'd be cool. It should be like a little Mickey head air freshener that you just keep with you for that day. That'd be awesome.
Next email's from Kirsten of Staunton, Massachusetts. Writes, hi guys, my dad got me hooked on your podcast, and I've been listening to them for a few months now and really enjoy them. I'm
Awesome.
12 years old and have been to Disney World 6 times, but I've always gone in the fall. This year, my family and I are taking a trip from July 31st to August 8th, and
I'm going to be there. July 31st to August 3rd. Go ahead. Sorry.
Nice. And I first saw that your crowd calendar on touringplans.com had the crowd levels at mostly 8s.
Yeah.
I noticed that recently that has been changed to mostly 6s. I know the summer is usually a busy time. Do you really think crowds are at a 6 level? We're staying at the Polynesian for the first time and are really excited about it. Well, let's answer the first question.
I am also staying at the Polynesian.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing. It's
Unbelievable.
Aloha.
So it's Kristen?
Kirsten.
Kirsten, have your dad send me an email, len at touringplans.com. We'll get together and have coffee or something, all of us. It'll be fun. I'm bringing my daughter too. She's 11. So here's the interesting thing. The crowd, one of the components that goes into making the crowd calendar is Disney's park hours. The interesting thing that we've noticed this year is that Disney's cutting back park hours, I guess, to save on operational costs, even though crowds have not really diminished all that much. So if you look year to date, crowds are down like 1 or 2% at Disney World. Hours, though, are down far more than 1 or 2%. So what they're trying to do is cut back the hours, but yet with the same amount of people. Yes, Scopa, you see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's affecting the crowd calendar. Fred is working on this diligently right now. I expect the crowd calendar numbers for August and September to go back up to 8s, but we're checking on it. The alternative situation, though, the one thing that would prevent us from actually making that change right now is we're still not sure how the first half of the year's buy 4 get 7 deal shifted demand from the second half of the year into the first half of the year. So we think that a lot of people took advantage of that buy 4 get 7 offer and went in the first 5 or 6 months of the year instead of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember Disney actually only announced this thing for like first quarter 2009, and then they gradually extended it out. But we think everyone kind of booked and went. So that's why we haven't made the correction yet. We're trying to see what the crowds actually are during summer. We should know in a couple of weeks. I mean, by the end of June, we should know.
Kristen writes, of course, staying at the Polynesian. Is there anything at the resort to do in the afternoon when we leave the parks to get out of the heat? Are there different activities for different age groups? My sister is 10, my brother is 7, my mom and dad are old and boring.
Oh, so there's yes, check in the lobby. There's probably 40 like me. There's plenty of stuff to do at the resort. They have some fantastic pools. There's a marina.
Yeah, the marina's real great because the whole family can take out those little boats out the sea mice.
Oh,
Titanic. Yeah. Yeah, and it's great for all because you can have little kids even. I mean, you, Kirsten, could probably drive your own boat, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that might be something to definitely look into. And of course, don't forget the if you're staying at the Polynesian, the electric water pageant at nighttime. Not in the afternoon, but
yeah.
Next email is from Keith in Elgin, who writes, I have not heard much about New Year's Eve at Walt Disney World. Does anything special happen at the World on New Year's?
No, they close it down at 9 o'clock, so everyone can go somewhere else.
That's right. It's called the Mormon Clause.
Exactly.
Ooh, there goes the Mormon listeners.
Yeah, thanks.
Typically, the parks are open. Magic Kingdom and Epcot usually open till midnight, and they have special fireworks there for midnight at those parks. Next email is from Michael of Palm Bay, Florida. Writes, hi all. I have an annual pass and I live about an hour and a half away from the park, so I try to go there as often as I can. The problem is nobody I know has a pass to go alone. So I go alone. It can be fun alone sometimes, but when I announce that I'm going, whether it be with friends or family, I get these strange looks. Some people cannot comprehend the idea of going alone. It gave me the evil eye accompanied with a downwards head shake. I was wondering if anyone else gets this kind of treatment, and if so, what's a good excuse to tell these people why I go multiple times in a month? Because some of us don't have the luxury of using research trips as an excuse.
I mean, that's hard work. I don't know about the. I mean, There's probably people who don't get the whole, the whole appeal of Walt Disney World. Because I'm telling you, we've talked about this before. I have no problem going alone on solo trips. I think some of those things are. I mean, it's just all me time, right? You get to go do whatever you want, eat wherever you want, ride whatever you want. I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
It could be a whole lot worse there.
I agree with you. Especially if he's local, because I mean, there's some people who do solo trips. They'll fly down and go all by themselves, and that's perfectly fine. And I think what it is. You also have to keep in mind it's all relative. I mean, there's people that go to baseball games by themselves. There are people that go to the movies by themselves. There are people that they go to these things because they want to enjoy it on their own level. And if they can find someone to go with, that's a different story. But I think you shouldn't let that stop you. I mean, we all deal with it. I mean, my mother still has no clue why I go to Walt Disney World quite as often as I do. And she just is like, well, at least I know that the annual pass that you have is getting your money's worth out of it. So, it's just if it makes you happy, I say go for it. Embrace it. Don't worry about what other people think.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about it.
Next email's from Ken in Richlands, North Carolina. All right, hi, Matt, Mike, Len, and the fabulous Annette. This question is for Len. I received the Kindle ebook reader for Christmas, and it was delivered sometime in March. I figured the timing would work well to ask this question now. Is the unofficial guide going to be made into an ebook for purchase at Amazon? If it is, will it be possible to use the Kindle in accessing features on the unofficial guide website? I know that currently the features on the website are accessed by referencing a specific page in the guide. Since the Kindle ebook does not use the same page method as the printed book, since the font sizes can be changed on the Kindle, will there still be a way to access the special feature after an e-purchase, or will that feature only be available to those who purchase the hard copy of the book?
Yeah, just send me an email. Send an email to webmaster@touringplans.com and let us know just let us know you have a Kindle, and we'll handle it from there. We haven't really thought about the page number thing because there really aren't page numbers on Kindles, but there's probably, relatively speaking, not that many Kindle owners compared to book owners, so we can handle them as one-offs. That's fine. Well, does the Kindle actually display page numbers or no? I mean, how do you know what page you are on?
I don't have one, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, send us a note. Webmaster@touringplans.com.
So the unofficial guide is available for the Kindle?
It will be in for the 2010 edition.
2010. Very good. Next email is from Dean in Connecticut. He writes, great meeting you at Mousefest, everyone. I must say my expectations were definitely different than my experience with you all. Scopo wasn't nearly as old as I thought he would be. Len was way too sober. Matt speaks at normal speed, which might be a Connecticut thing, though. Newell is much quieter than I expected, and Annette is even more fabulous in person. I have a question regarding annual passes. I know my chances of getting an answer by the time I need one is slim, but this is my fault for sending this so late. Nonetheless, maybe this will help someone else out if it's past my time. We're going to be needing to renew our annual pass very soon, and we benefited greatly this past year from having annual passes, especially in regards to the Disney dining experience. We want to renew at least one of our annual passes because of the dining discount card. My question is, do I have to renew our Disney dining experience card at the same time as my annual pass? Our current Disney dining experience card is set to expire later on beyond our annual pass expiration, which gives us about 13 months of the card. Can I renew my annual pass when I need to, but then renew the Disney dining experience when I come down much later on in the year? Or is it the case that the Disney dining experience and the annual pass will run the same length of time?
No, mine run at two different times.
Yeah, they're not related to each other in the least.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah. So don't worry about that. Renew each whenever you need to renew each. Don't worry about them. They're not related. Next email is from Jeff of Gorham, Maine. Writes, we'll be visiting Walt Disney World in July 2009, and my wife and I will be celebrating our anniversary. Where would you recommend we go for dinner on our anniversary?
Ooh.
One restaurant. You got to pick one restaurant. So, Len, what do you think? One restaurant.
Chico.
All right. Scopa?
Le Cellier.
All right. I'm gonna.
Yeah, but you're not going to get into the Le Cellier.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough.
It's true. Fair enough. Yeah.
I'll say Tepanito. Newell?
Tepanito? Because nothing says anniversaries like Japanese food?
Oh, it's good.
Like hibachi?
It's good. That would be the reason why I would not go vegan right there. I would go spend one trip over there and be like, I forget this.
Forget this.
Newell?
I would go with Chico as well. I love Chico.
Very good.
So I had this friend who's a who was trying to become a vegetarian, but still liked meat.
Yes.
So her idea then was she came up with her own idea. She was a snuggletarian, and that was she wouldn't eat the meat of any animal that you could cuddle. So fish. She would eat, yeah. So she could cuddle a cow. You can cuddle a lamb. She wouldn't do that, but she's not really fond of chickens or fish. So and you can't really cuddle them. So
fair enough. Oh,
Snuggletarian. There you go.
there you go.
That's a
Like
new
it.
one.
Next email is from Paul Stewart of Seattle, Washington.
Paul.
Or it's a question perhaps for Len. I was in the world in October and ran into waits of 40 minutes just to get fast passes to Toy Story Midway Mania.
What?
But in December, the California Adventure version, which says on offer fast passes, generally topped out at 40 to 60-minute waits. Is there a reason Disney does not have a fast pass in California? Are they testing to see how each compare? Or was it a would not, could not scenario in California? Are the crowds at DCA just so much smaller that they felt they didn't need them?
I think that's exactly it. The crowds are so much smaller that, generally speaking, you don't need it. The other thing too is it's kind of in the back of the park, and the other rides are like Soarin' and Tower of Terror up in the front. There's I mean, it really is in the very, very back part of the park. So I think the wait times are different because of that, because of the touring styles that people have to get there. And for some reason, it's just not as loved in DCA as it is in the studios. And I think because there's others, if you're looking for other family-oriented fare, you're across the plaza in Disneyland. I think that's something to do with it too.
Paul adds, one question to Matt's arena. Is there any truth to the rumor they might be working on another storyline for Star Tours? There's actually some recent word that it actually might be. There was a new thing that just came out. Slash Film reported that there's a secret Star Wars production shooting in Hollywood, and it involved some characters from the original trilogy over there. And it was actually you've probably seen links about it on every single website in the world, and that really lent some major credence to it. It had Boba Fett and C-3PO. And then there's been some other confirmations later on from other things. So it certainly looks like it definitely is being is coming out. But we really don't know any details or when or anything like that. Just that.
Maybe.
Last question for Paul. Has Disney ever thought of adding an adults-only event, something like Parents' Night Out? It would be nice not to have to deal with all the strollers, etc., just for one night, with all the pirates and princesses and everything else going on. I think they owe the adults something. Thanks again for the great info. You helped me make some wise dining decisions.
Yeah, I heard that they're putting together an attraction. It's called the Great Narcoossee's Ride.
The Great Narcoossee's Ride, nice.
I don't think Disney will ever do anything like that. Disney's all about family. So it's not going to happen, regardless. So that's people come there. They want to spend time together. If you don't, then
Together.
there you go. Next email is from Craig from the United Kingdom, who writes, still loving the show. We travel to Orlando about 3 to 4 times a year, and we have a house in Claremont. It's our Disney dream.
Yay.
I was really pleased you had Deb on the live show. I can remember going to Port Orleans in 1997 with her entire site printed and bound like a book. Anyway.
Wow.
I know
wonder if you could do that now.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know many people ask about Fast Pass. If you have small children, it's worth reminding people that they can get rider swap passes, and these are just like a Fast Pass, but not time restricted. We have a 6 and a 4-year-old, and my son, Kieran, is just a few inches too small for Space Mountain, etc. So we grab Fast Passes and rider switches, and my wife and I can then use this alternatively with our 6-year-old. Works in every park. Yeah, of course. Craig is referencing the child swap option.
It's a great tip.
Oh, yeah. We mentioned in other shows, but I'll put a link in the show notes too. I have a write-up on Studio Central, and it holds true for all the parks, really.
Yeah.
Next email's from Kelly from Savannah, Georgia, who writes, hello, everyone, and Lucky Annette. My family is taking advantage of here you go, Len, taking advantage of the pay 4, stay for 7 deal in mid-June. It'll be myself, my husband, my son, my mom, and my dad. My son is a pirate freak, so we had no choice this summer, really, than to stay at Caribbean Beach in one of those pirate-themed rooms.
They're pretty cool.
Cool. My mom and dad have become Disney snobs, as they like to say, because their last 2 stays have been at the Dolphin and the Contemporary. They were big time spoiled at the Contemporary, too, because they were upgraded no charge to a suite overlooking the castle when they found out my mom was celebrating her 60th birthday. So needless to say, They aren't thrilled about Caribbean Beach. My first question is, it's Disney, don't worry about it. My first question is, what can I say to them to get them to buy off on this resort?
So I think the Caribbean Beach is much more themed than the Contemporary. And I got to say, I mean, I like the Wave and all. It's a decent restaurant, and I like California Grill, but I think you'll find the food court much more friendly to regular families and less formal than either of the two, and the Contempo Cafe too. I think than the Contemporary. Also the landscaping I think is not the landscaping is bad at the Contemporary, but it's just more lush and tropical feeling at Caribbean Beach.
And they have a huge pool at Caribbean Beach. Much better pool.
Yeah, I don't really love the pool. Yeah, you're right. Good point.
Kelly also adds, my second question is for Len. Taking into account the following factors, which building should we stay in, and possibly what room block should we ask for? Staying at Trinidad South for pirate rooms, having our own car, not expecting to need to go to Centertown often since we bring our own drinks and desserts, desire to be somewhat near the bus stop, and no requirement for a view since our view priority is inside of a park.
And so it's going to be the pirate rooms, right?
Right, so Trinidad South. Didn't
we answer the Trinidad South question on a recent
live show? Wasn't it a live show?
Maybe we should jump the queue and call this in with it. It might have been Herbert and someone else, but
we had said that there were three buildings. I'm trying to remember what the exact conversation was, but hold on one second. I've got it. So, if it's, did she say it was a Garden View room?
She doesn't care. She wants to know what would you recommend? I don't know.
I mean, Garden View rooms are absolutely fine, and like I said, they're pretty lush. What I would say is, if you want an interior facing room in buildings 34, 35, or 36, those would be the least expensive and the prettiest. You want to avoid anything in 34 or 36 that overlooks the parking lot, obviously, and then the outside of the other side of 35 overlooks the lake, so it'd be water view. So an interior facing room, courtyard facing room in 34, 35, or 36 would be absolutely fine.
Good.
And actually 36 is actually closest to the bus stop, but I mean, you're talking about at that point like another 20 yards.
Next email's from Anna Morganier, also known as Anna1114 on the boards. Right.
Hoorah.
Yeah, there we go.
I got
you. Right. Hey, guys. I would start with the usual accolades, but I'm tired of the same old kissing butt. I'm laying out my plans for August 2009 trip and realize I can't find the official hours for dining. Are there dining hours for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or does each restaurant determine them for themselves? I'm a fan of a late lunch, dinner type meal. I have a lot less money and more of an opportunity to walk off the meal.
Each restaurant has their own hours.
Yeah, and it can vary.
And not only that, but and I think we mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this on the live show, but all the hotels have the right to change their hours at any time too, for their restaurants.
Right.
Very good. Next email is from. What's the next email from? Martin McIntosh of Orange County, California.
Marty.
Writes, hey guys, after having a really bad end in 2007 and beginning of 2008, which forced me to cancel 2 Walt Disney World trips, I found myself too depressed to listen to the podcast. Just the thought of not being able to go to the world was bad enough, but listening to all of you, the wonderful trip reports and planning going on was too much for me, so I stopped all my Disney podcasts.
Sorry, Martin.
A few weeks ago, with 2,000 items in my sights, I kicked myself in the butt and realized that if I wanted to even have a chance of seeing the world in 2009, that I had to make it a priority. So I downloaded so many podcasts from the last 9 months that I thought my iPhone would explode. You guys really helped me snap out of it. So I'm happy to say that I'm caught up in current and feeling Disney-fied again. Thanks to you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Martin.
That's awesome.
Nice kiss, whoever that was.
That was Newell?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, was Scopa?
I like the guy and all.
Wasn't me. Must have been a nut.
Yeah.
All right. Next email is from Kirby Price of Clinton, New Jersey.
Hoorah.
I'm a new listener to
Clinton, New Jersey. This is me doing the 2-finger kiss to New Jersey. Mwah. There you go.
Oh, boy.
That was more than 2 fingers.
Let the man read the question.
I'm a new listener to the WDW Today show. I'm 15 years old, and I love all things Disney World. I'm also a new listener to many other podcasts. Congrats on your 500th episode. Of all the podcasts I listen to, none of them have reached 500 episodes other than you.
Yay.
I started listening to your show on episode 497, and I love the Sip and Snack Part 2 that you guys did. It's such a funny episode that I keep it on my iPod along with the other most recent episode of WDW Today. I've been trying to convince my parents to go this year. I've been to the world twice, and they always have the, quote, you've been there, done that, end quote. But I try to tell them that Disney World never gets old. My question relates to the Sip and Snack episode, so I guess Mike and Len and Annette, if she's on, should answer this one. Whenever I go to Walt Disney World again, your podcast has inspired me the idea for me and my brother to do our own sip and snack around the world. My brother is 12, and I'll be 16. My question is, what would be the best snack and drink to get at each pavilion that would be appropriate for me and my little brother?
Wow.
See, I don't know if we can recommend this for young kids, man.
Yeah. I mean, what it did to my 40-year-old belly, I would recommend that.
Yeah.
Anybody.
How about this? How about what was your best snack and your best drink among all the things that you guys did?
Well, the best.
This is actually a great thing. So let's just each recommend one thing to have rather than something else.
Exactly.
Yeah,
one of the things we try to do is we try to be careful about volume, and I think the best, to me, the best snack I had was the little candy in Italy.
Did you?
Well, it's only 25 cents. It wasn't big at all. It was like, pop that in and you're done.
You remember the name of it, Mike?
No, but it was from that area it's right in the middle of that store, that chocolate store. There's just a whole bunch of them. They're 25 cents, and if you want chocolate, you get a chocolate one. If you want lemon, you get a lemon one. So that was, to me, that was the best snack, and the best sip was in Japan. I had some kind of a energy drink. It was very small. It was very inexpensive. I think it was $2 or $4, and it was no more than maybe 8 ounces. That was really easy. So those are the two easy ones for me.
All right. Newell?
We laughed at it, but I'm going to stick with the nachos over in
I
Mexico.
knew it. I knew you were saying nachos.
It was really good. And, for the price, they really give you enough. So it's actually a small meal more than a snack, if you ask me, unless you get the child's ones. I would stick with.
So that's actually a great idea to try one of the child's meals in any of the countries other than the U.S. because you know what it's used to, and you know what it is in the U.S. But if they have child's portions of anything, especially in Mexico, I think that's really useful. The thing that I like, though, I think the thing that stuck out for me that was the best was the baklava in Morocco.
Ooh,
nice.
I know you guys didn't like it. You guys picked the wrong one. I'm talking about just a regular.
I got
plain baklava with some coffee. Get decaf.
Yeah, don't get that espresso thing that they have in the back.
I thought it was fabulous.
Ooh, that was rough.
All right.
Kirby adds, P.S. I love Mike Newell's confession at the American Pavilion, and I can't believe Annette hates sour cotton candy. That sounds delicious to me.
It was. The cotton candy's really good. I do recommend that.
Yeah.
All right, very good. All right, we have time for one last question. That means I'll have Mike Newell choose from 3 questions. One gets read today. The other 2 go back in the email queue. Are you ready, Mike?
Yes, and please don't blame me for not picking your question.
Never to be heard from again.
Yeah, that's right. If we started deleting them, then people would get really angry.
It's being guarded by top men.
Yeah, exactly.
Who?
Top men.
Your options, Mike, are walk like an Egyptian. Yeah, but it's dry heat, right? Or Newell or Scopa might know what I'm talking about.
Oh, thanks.
Mike? Are we up for this, Mike?
Sure, Mike and Mike show.
Yeah, let's do the Mike and Mike show for $200, Alex.
Right. Last email of the day is from Bob, a.k.a. Band Bob on WDW Today.
Rahoo.
Don't want to miss anyone or anyone's names in attendance, but hello, everyone. The usual props on the great show. Love it. Helped get the most out of our trip last time, yada, yada, yada. Been listening to the show since episode 9. The subject line is due to the fact that I think that there are only 2 that might have mentioned anything about this topic during a show sometime since episode 9.
Uh-oh.
Okay. As a band director, one of my favorite things about Walt Disney World is all the musical groups that perform at various times throughout the parks that aren't really part of any of the attractions. Groups like Dapper Dans, the Spirit of America Fife and Drum Corps, the Drummers of Japan. Great stuff. I truly think that these groups are a greatly underappreciated part of Walt Disney World. They are wonderful musicians and really add so much to the Walt Disney World experience. I would like to know each one of your top 3 performing groups. Here's mine. Number 3, Off Kilter in Canada. Number 2, a tie between the Fantasyland Woodwind Society and Fantasyland. As a fellow saxophone player, you just can't beat a good sax group. And the Jaminators in Future World. My number 1, though, has to be the Voices in Liberty in the American Adventure. You won't hear a better a cappella group, and the acoustics provided by the pavilion are remarkable. I also have to acknowledge 2 of my favorite groups that no longer perform at Walt Disney World. Future Corps, the small drum and bugle group that performed in Future World at Epcot, and the Tomorrowland Marching Band. Anyway, that's my list. I'm anxious to hear from each one of you, though I'm not sure Len slows down enough and stops long enough from gathering statistics to ever hear one of these groups. Nice. Again, the usual props to close out the email. Thanks for a great show. All right, Newell, what's your top 3?
Top
live
3?
Musical entertainment at Walt Disney World.
I'm also going to say Off Kilter as my number 3. I always never miss a chance to stop by and listen to a couple of sets while I'm there. Number 2, Voices of Liberty as well. He's right. Exactly what he said is dead on. There's something about the way the pavilion was constructed that the acoustics inside are just perfect for them, and it sounds remarkable when they're inside there. So I do agree with that. And as a former drummer, I'm going to go with the Jameters as number one as well. There's one guy that's still there that was there in 1994. I never caught his name, but he's still there, and I just love going to see them. And during the Food and Wine, I think it was Food and Wine, where they did they were different. They played with ovens and stoves, and they changed it up a little bit, which was really cool.
Yeah, I can tell you that, when I was walking with Newell one time and the Jaminator started playing, and Newell was like a small child when he heard it. And that's not an insult, Mike. It's just that's you. Like, sometimes like when we're together, guys, and he'll be like, hey, do you guys mind if we go check out this? Mike was just like, he saw the Jaminators around. He was like, oh, I got to go check out the Jaminator. Like, it was like, it meant a lot to him, obviously. And we stopped to go check it out. So obviously, I can definitely see your number one being that one, Mike.
Yeah, they were awesome.
What about you, Scopa?
Well, all mine have a common denominator. The number 3 would be a tie between the 2x4s and the no, actually number 3, if they were still around, would be 4 for $1. But I always enjoyed them. Number 2 is a tie with the 2x4s and the Dapper Dans, and number 1 is Voices of Liberty. And what they all have in common is they interact with the guests. And I really enjoy that. I think that Voices of Liberty is number 1 because I think they have the most talent, and they've been, consistent over the years. If a change is made, the voice range is replaced with the same voice range, and I think that's a skill that is very much underappreciated.
Fair enough. Well, it's going to wrap it up for us today.
Thanks. Yeah.
I don't
have any.
Well, he didn't mention Newell and Scopa, so I took myself out.
That's true.
Out of it.
That's true. He's right.
I think chopped liver. We should hear from Len. Come on, Len.
Yes, Len. Please.
Oh, I was going to say Mulch, Sweat, and Tears and Mo Rockin', but whatever. My opinion doesn't count.
You were going by too fast to know which one was which.
Oh my god.
Don't forget that this episode of WDW Today has been sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, and I'm pretty sure they not very good singers, but what they are really good at is planning trips to Walt Disney World. And you know that when they help you plan your trip to Walt Disney World, you know what the cost is to you, the client?
What?
Zero. Nothing.
Wow.
Free to you. Difference is they are aware of a lot of the different things that are going on. Maybe a different code that comes out, a little special discount, a group break going on.
Really?
They can help you do all that. So why not give them a try? Visit them online at www.mousefantravel.com. That's it for us today. Don't forget to visit our website at WDW Today. For Len Testum, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.